What if I told you that even at age 75, a single food, one that most seniors ignore, could possibly stop muscle loss? That may seem like a bold statement, but here's the unexpected reality. Age-related muscle loss, or sarcopenia, is a metabolic disorder rather than a natural aspect of aging. It is also avoidable and frequently reversible, like the majority of metabolic disorders. Red flags include weaker legs, trouble getting out of a chair, and even changes in posture and balance if you're over 60. However, they are the symptom rather than the issue. What's going on inside your metabolism's the more serious problem. Here's what your body is actually doing. Maintaining muscular tissue gets more difficult as we get older. Hormonal changes, poor protein absorption, chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and, most people don't discuss it, anabolic resistance are all contributing factors, not just aging. Your body becomes less receptive to the signals that instruct it to gain and preserve muscle mass when you experience anabolic resistance. And your body will automatically start breaking down muscles unless you know how to turn that switch back on. The excellent news is now available. Even in people over 75, some diets have been demonstrated to directly promote the production of muscle proteins. And compared to practically everything else, one food in particular achieves it more quickly, efficiently, and reliably. The science of muscle preservation will be covered in detail in today's film, along with how a single, potent food can actually aid in regaining strength, vitality, and independence. We'll examine why muscle loss quickens after the age of 50 and how to prevent it from the ground up, the true meaning of anabolic resistance, and its natural reversal, how some amino acids function as keys to help people of all ages gain muscle. The one food that reverses sarcopenia better than whey, soy, and even eggs. When and how to consume it, as well as what to eat with it to get the most out of it. And easy exercises that, even if you've been sedentary for years, can improve your leg strength in a matter of weeks. The truth is that muscle is more than just lifting weights or being toned. Your immune system, glucose management, metabolism, and independence all play a part. Please think about subscribing if this has been useful thus far. If you are currently viewing, please let me know if you are with me. If this video resonates with you, type 1 in the comments section. If not, type 0. Every day, I provide videos like this one to empower you to take charge of your health in a natural way. Now, let's begin. To start, I'll outline the 6 essential scientifically supported ideas you must comprehend if you want to reverse muscle loss and restore your strength, flexibility, and vitality at any age. You're not dreaming, though, if you're over 60 and feel like your muscles are getting smaller regardless of your diet or level of activity. It's not only old age, though. What's actually occurring within your body is known as anabolic resistance. Your muscle tissue loses its reactivity to the impulses that normally initiate growth and repair in this state. I'll use a straightforward analogy to illustrate this. Think of your muscles as a parched sponge. When you're young, eating protein or working out is like pouring water on a sponge. It absorbs it right away. Signals for muscle growth, such as hormones and amino acids, are represented by that water. However, that sponge stiffens with age, particularly after the age of 60. It simply rolls off now when you pour water on it. The signal is no longer being absorbed by the muscles, but your body is still receiving the protein. Anabolic resistance is what that is. So why does this occur? Age-related declines in hormone sensitivity and mitochondrial efficiency are 2 important causes. For muscle cells to activate mTOR, or mechanistic target of rapamycin, a crucial process that initiates muscle growth. They require a signal from nutrition, particularly important amino acids like leucine. A tiny quantity of protein can turn that switch on in young people, but the threshold is much larger in older adults. To get the same result, more of the appropriate amino acids in the appropriate form are required. The low-grade chronic inflammation is another important problem. Inflammation gradually rises with age, frequently as a result of liver congestion, poor gut health, and insulin resistance. Your body's capacity to heal tissue, particularly muscle, is weakened by this silent fire. Your body therefore goes into a slow, steady breakdown condition known as catabolism rather than rebuilding. The outcome? Reduced walking speed, diminished grip strength, and shrinking quadriceps, but the underlying cost is metabolic. Your energy levels drop, your blood sugar rises, and you store more fat. The hopeful portion comes next. Resistance to anabolic substances is temporary. Reversing it requires a calculated strategy. Let's examine the main factors that counteract anabolic resistance. Foods high in leucine. The building block of muscle is leucine. To stimulate muscle protein synthesis, older adults require 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine every meal, according to research. In the following section, we will examine the best source, the timing and distribution of meals. Protein pulses, which are larger, well-spaced meals that provide a complete supply of amino acids, are beneficial for older persons as an alternative to grazing all day. Muscle pathways are frequently not activated by small doses distributed throughout the day. Increasing sensitivity to insulin. It is more difficult to transfer nutrients into muscle when you are insulin resistant. Apple cider vinegar, chromium, exercising after meals, and intermittent fasting can all help improve insulin sensitivity. Stimulation of resistance. Muscle tissue can be resensitized by even mild bodyweight exercises like band pulls, squats, and step-ups. The sponge is primed to absorb once more as a result. According to the research, seniors in their 70s and 80s can still experience a muscle-building response by combining leucine-rich protein with moderate exercise and well-timed exercise. Indeed, when paired with little physical activity, dietary protein therapies with optimal leucine concentration dramatically increased older individuals' muscle mass, strength, and functional performance, according to a 2020 meta-analysis published in Nutritions. Therefore, keep in mind that this is about signals, not age, the next time someone says, "You're just getting older." The good news is that, with the correct inputs, you can manipulate those signals. The precise food that has one of the strongest leucine profiles and works better than whey, soy, and even eggs to reverse muscle loss in older persons will be disclosed in the following section. Before we continue, though, please give the video a thumbs up if you're finding it useful thus far. In addition to helping more people like you find practical ways to age painlessly and stay strong, it signals to the algorithm that this material matters. Most people think about testosterone when they think of muscle building. And while testosterone does play a part, there's a more potent, less well-known component that affects whether your muscles grow or shrink as you age. Insulin sensitivity is the cause. Let me explain. Insulin's function is to unlock your cells like a key, allowing nutrients like glucose and amino acids to enter. Insulin-sensitive muscles are like open doors, readily taking in the raw materials and fuel required for growth and operation. However, those doors start to jam shut when you develop insulin resistance, which most individuals do gradually around the age of 40. Rather from being digested, nutrients float in the bloodstream. Even with a healthy diet, blood sugar levels rise, fat accumulation grows, and your muscles gradually starve. Here's what your body is actually doing. Insulin is attempting to transport amino acids into your muscle cells from your diet. However, your muscles are unable to receive the signal due to insulin resistance, which is frequently brought on by years of eating refined carbohydrates, snacking, stress, and inactivity. Therefore, your body is unable to use protein efficiently even if you are ingesting enough of it. This explains why sarcopenia is rooted in insulin resistance, and why seniors frequently find that merely increasing their protein intake or taking supplements is ineffective. The delivery mechanism isn't working. Let me now offer you a straightforward analogy. Consider that you are attempting to deliver construction materials to a building site: wood, nails, and bricks. However, the engine of the delivery truck is broken. Insulin is that truck. If the vehicle breaks down, no matter how many supplies you have, nothing gets delivered. Your muscle cells, the workers, are inactive. How can we fix the truck then? Insulin sensitivity is restored. The best part is that all you need are the appropriate lifestyle cues. No drugs. Here are 4 tried and true methods to increase muscle growth and insulin sensitivity. Intermittent 14 to 16-hour fasting. By lowering insulin levels, fasting enables cells to repair and become more sensitive. Compressing your eating window can significantly enhance nutrient partitioning, ensuring that more of your food is used for muscle growth rather than fat storage. Taking a stroll after eating. Moving around for just 10 to 15 minutes after eating can increase insulin activity and dramatically lower blood sugar levels after meals. Because it activates muscle glucose transporters, this is important for seniors. Poor sleep lowers insulin sensitivity and raises cortisol levels, even in the absence of vigorous activity and sleep optimization. To maintain hormonal balance, try to get 7 to 8 hours of steady sleep in a dark environment. Before bed, take some sour cherry juice and magnesium glycinate, apple cider vinegar, chromium, and cinnamon. It has been demonstrated that certain organic substances improve insulin sensitivity. Before meals, try 1 to 2 tablespoons of ACV in water, and if blood sugar is a problem, think about taking a high-quality chromiomyculinate vitamin. Allow me to offer a brief study. Researchers discovered that, independent of exercise, enhanced muscle mass retention in older persons was directly connected with increased insulin sensitivity in a 2019 study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. Put another way, even if you're not lifting weights, repairing your insulin response aids in muscle recovery. And that's why the next dish I'll show you tastes so good. It does more than only supply amino acids. It also reverses anabolic resistance and aids in restoring insulin sensitivity. This is the point at which everything begins to make sense if you have battled with weariness, muscle weakness, or even blood sugar instability. Because one of the most potent muscle-restoring amino acid profiles known to science is found in the diet we'll discuss next. It also aids in metabolic repair, which sets it apart from many other protein sources. Remain with me. Additionally, click subscribe if you haven't already. The purpose of this channel is to assist you in regaining your power and vitality without the use of drugs, tricks, or misunderstandings. Let's go on to the food that is more effective than soy, whey, and eggs for reversing muscle loss in older adults. After discussing insulin sensitivity and anabolic resistance, we'll move on to the most crucial amino acid for halting muscle loss, particularly in older folks. It's known as leucine. Leucine can be compared to an engine's spark plug. Fuel, protein, calories, and even exercise are all yours. However, the engine doesn't start without that spark. The process of creating and mending muscle tissue, known as muscle protein synthesis, is your body's engine. This is what the study reveals. The amino acid leucine activates mTOR, the crucial biological pathway that instructs your body to start building muscle. Leucine alone is sufficient to initiate this pathway in younger people. However, something changes after the age of 60. It raises your threshold. The leucine signal loses its sensitivity in your body. Anabolic resistance includes that. This explains why many elderly people continue to lose muscle mass and strength even after eating what appears to be an adequate amount of protein. The amount of leucine consumed at each meal is insufficient to activate the mTOR switch. What is the magic number then? Studies show that in order to successfully promote muscle growth, older adults require 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine every meal. Here's the catch, though. Leucine is insufficient in most common protein sources per serving. For instance, there are just roughly 0.5 grams of leucine in one egg. There are roughly 2.1 grams in 3 ounces of chicken. Many seniors have poor dairy tolerance, but a scoop of whey can bring you close. Even for people with digestive issues, there is one dish that regularly provides a high dosage of leucine and promotes improved absorption. It's beef liver that's been fed grass. Liver, indeed. And let me explain why, despite the fact that most people do not think of this as a diet that builds muscle, it is so effective. Along with essential cofactors that promote protein synthesis, grass-fed cow liver provides a complete range of amino acids, including a high concentration of leucine. Vitamin B12, which promotes the production of red blood cells and provides energy, is essential for the supply of oxygen to muscles. Iron, which lessens fatigue and promotes mitochondrial energy generation. Copper and zinc are necessary for hormone balance and tissue healing. Additionally, choline improves insulin sensitivity indirectly by promoting fat metabolism and liver function. Beef liver is one of the most concentrated natural sources of leucine, with only 3 to 4 ounces providing about 2.9 grams of leucine. I am aware that the taste may turn off some individuals, however, here is a workaround. It's not necessary to consume it every day. You can significantly change your amino acid and micronutrient composition just once or twice a week. Additionally, if the taste bothers you, think about using freeze-dried cow liver capsules from a premium grass-fed source. These provide a practical substitute while maintaining the nutritious density. According to a 2021 clinical study in nutrients, older persons who ate animal proteins high in leucine, particularly organ meats, had noticeably better muscle retention and grip strength than those who only ate plant or dairy products. I'm at a loss for practical proof if that isn't it. Additionally, keep in mind that the liver fuels your metabolism in addition to your muscles. It promotes the synthesis of mitochondrial energy, detox pathways, and liver function, all of which contribute to the maintenance of muscle. Here is a basic procedure to get you going. 1 or 2 times a week, consume 3 or 4 servings of grass-fed cow liver. To improve iron absorption, combine it with a vitamin C-rich food, such as sauerkraut or lemon juice. Avoid consuming it concurrently with foods high in calcium, as this may decrease the absorption of minerals. If you're new to organ meats, take it early in the day and drink plenty of water. Just give it a try for 3 weeks. You might be astounded at how rapidly your legs feel stronger, your energy levels increase, and your metabolism becomes more resilient when you combine it with time-restricted eating and walking after meals. If this is helpful to you, please share it with someone who needs to know that you can still be strong in your 70s, or leave a comment below. The metabolic triggers that reverse muscle loss, leucine, insulin sensitivity, and high-quality protein like grass-fed liver should all be familiar to you by now. However, most people, including many nutritionists, do not consider this. The timing of your protein intake may be as crucial as its quantity. Let me clarify. Anabolism, or building up, and catabolism, or breaking down, are the two phases that your body is continuously alternating between. Spending more time in an anabolic state is necessary to gain muscle, particularly after the age of 60, when it becomes more difficult to do so physiologically. This is what's actually happening. Your body starts to go into moderate catabolism, which breaks down tissue for energy after going 3 to 5 hours without eating. That's natural, but you'll miss the window when your muscles are most receptive to development signals if you don't plan when you eat protein. I'll give you a straightforward example. Assume that your muscles are a sponge that can only absorb water once or twice a day, and that the water must be poured at the appropriate moment. If you pour it too early or too late, it simply rolls off. As you age, your muscles react to protein in this way. The sponge is always absorbent when young, but beyond age 60, the window becomes smaller. According to the research, in order to successfully promote muscle growth, older adults need larger, more concentrated protein dosages spaced out strategically. What is the optimal timing strategy then? This is what the science suggests. Protein should be loaded first. The majority of people consume a lot of protein at dinner and very little at breakfast. It's a mistake. A protein-rich breakfast that includes at least 30 grams of protein and 2 to 5 to 3 grams of leucine primes the body for an anabolic state throughout the day, according to studies. Give it a try. 3 ounces of pasture-raised scrambled eggs, 3 ounces of grass-fed beef liver or turkey sausage. Serve with sautéed spinach on the side and a couple slices of avocado. Divide the protein evenly across 2 or 3 meals. Focus on eating 2 or 3 complete meals separated out by 4 to 6 hours, rather than grazing or nibbling. Each should have a minimum of 25 to 35 grams of protein and sufficient leucine to trigger the activation of mTOR. For instance, 30 grams of protein during breakfast, 30 to 40 grams of protein at midday, 25 grams of protein for a light meal. Numerous studies have demonstrated that this meal routine preserves lean mass better than haphazard, unplanned eating. Steer clear of protein right before bed. Contrary to popular belief, late-night protein consumption, particularly from difficult-to-digest sources, can interfere with nighttime repair, stall digestion, and hinder deep sleep. To enable melatonin to rise and growth hormone to perform its job, cease eating at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. Make good use of your feeding window. Make sure your first meal breaks the fast with a strong anabolic signal if you're intermittently fasting. In other words, a lot of protein, good fats, and few carbohydrates. This quickly initiates muscle protein synthesis and increases insulin sensitivity. What is the conclusion of the research? After just 4 weeks, seniors who consumed the majority of their protein earlier in the day with balanced leucine distribution had significantly better muscle protein synthesis and functional mobility than those who consumed the same amount of protein but unevenly distributed according to a 2022 randomized control trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. The lesson here is that timing is important. You can still be losing out on muscle preservation even if you're consuming high-quality protein at the wrong time. Give this protocol a try. The first meal should include at least 30 grams of protein, eggs, liver, and greens. 30 to 40 grams of protein from grass-fed lamb, salmon, or beef for the second meal. If necessary, a light third meal is optional. Otherwise, the day might be concluded with herbal tea. You'll be astounded at how your muscles begin to adapt once more if you incorporate walking after meals and 2 to 3 mild resistance training sessions per week. After discussing timing, let's examine why restoring muscle loss involves more than just strength. It's about safeguarding your longevity, metabolism, and brain. So far, we've covered the topics of muscle repair, nutrition, timing, amino acids, and hormones. However, we must take a step back and consider the wider picture in order to completely understand why this is important. Because muscles are used for more than just strength and mobility. It has nothing to do with tone or doing weights. Gold for metabolism is muscle. Let me clarify. Your body's primary location for disposing of glucose is your muscular tissue. This implies that when you consume protein or carbohydrates, your muscles absorb the sugar and use it as fuel rather than allowing it to remain in your blood and cause an insulin surge. Better blood sugar regulation from more muscle means less insulin, which means less fat storage. Skeletal muscle really releases its own hormones and signaling molecules called myokines, which is why scientists now classify it as an endocrine organ. These substances protect the heart, lessen inflammation, enhance cognitive function, and even inhibit the growth of tumors. I'll give you an example from the actual world. Your muscles can be thought of as a metabolic engine. You burn more calories doing nothing, even while you're at rest, because a big, efficient engine uses more gasoline even when it's not moving. It is a little, feeble engine that wastes energy and sputters and stalls. Imagine being 70 years old and having lost 20 to 30% of your muscular mass since you were 40. Many seniors experience this, which results in decreased mobility and independence, a poorer metabolism, elevated body fat, particularly visceral fat, blood sugar surges, and fatigue and cognitive fog. But everything starts to function better if you regain even a small amount of muscle. Even a 5% increase in lean mass in older persons dramatically increased insulin sensitivity, decreased HbA1c levels, and improved mitochondrial function, according to a 2021 study published in the Journal of Sarcopenia Muscle. More significantly, there was a significant decrease in the risk of fractures and falls. Your metabolic insurance policy is muscle. It safeguards your brain, bones, blood sugar, and independence. And it's deeper yet. Did you know that one of the best indicators of longevity is muscle mass? In the American Journal of Medicine, researchers tracked more than 3,000 patients 55 and older in a major cohort study. Even after controlling for BMI and lifestyle characteristics, they discovered that the people with the least amount of muscle mass had the highest all-cause mortality. That is, even while the scale indicates your normal weight, you are still at risk if you have lost muscle. Here's the empowering reality now. Muscle may be rebuilt at any age. The mTOR pathway, the amino acid sensors, the regenerative ability, and the equipment are still present in your body. All you need to do is enter the correct information. and then everything is different. Energy gets better. Sleep becomes more profound. Blood sugar levels level out. Rain fog dissipates. Motivation and mood return. It goes beyond physical prowess. Youth with a metabolism is that. I want you to keep in mind that this isn't about developing biceps as we move into the last section. It's about taking back your power, your metabolic power, so that all of your bodily systems function in your favor rather than against you. I'll now provide you with a basic action plan to get you going. A gym is not necessary. Powders and potions are not necessary. Strategy, consistency, and a potent food that most people overlook are all necessary. Let's make everything work together. After age 60, muscle loss is not always unavoidable. It's an indication that your metabolism is having trouble keeping up, a biological feedback loop. However, we've observed that the underlying problems are frequently curable. What about the tools? Accessible, nutrient-dense, and natural. Let's review the most important findings. Muscle loss is primarily caused by anabolic resistance, rather than age alone. If you don't know how to make your muscles sensitive again, they will cease responding to growth signals. The transport of nutrients depends critically on insulin sensitivity. Even the greatest diet won't adequately fuel your muscles if you have insulin resistance. The building block of muscle protein synthesis, leucine, is vital. Furthermore, the majority of senior citizens just do not consume enough at each meal to promote muscle growth. Grass-fed beef liver is the only food that provides the best quality leucine, together with iron, B vitamins, and metabolic cofactors. Your strength can be transformed with just 3 to 4 ounces once or twice a week. Time is of the essence. A strong anabolic signal is sent when more than 30 grams of protein, ideally with 2.5 grams of leucine, are ingested at the first meal of the day. Give your body clear recuperation windows, avoid snacking, and divide your protein intake over 2 to 3 meals. Lastly, muscle is a metabolic treasure. It is your biggest asset as you age, and the most effective anti-aging tool you have is rebuilding it. It burns fat, lowers blood sugar, prolongs lifetime, and protects your brain. Here's a quick challenge to get you going. Eat 3 to 4 servings of grass-fed liver at least once this week. Eat a minimum of 30 grams of protein-rich breakfast to start the day. To allow your hormones to reset, stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed and take a 10-minute walk after meals, particularly lunch or dinner. Keep track of your energy, strength, clarity, and even sleep, because when your muscles are getting the right nutrition, your entire body changes. Additionally, keep in mind that there is always time. Muscle reacts. Your body continues to listen even if you are 75 years of age or older. All you have to do is use the appropriate language, eat the appropriate food at the appropriate time, and maintain metabolic patterns that suit your biology. If this made your life better, think about becoming a subscriber. Every day, I provide articles like this one to help you improve your health organically, without the use of tricks or medications. And I want to know whether you're with me if you're now watching. If this video resonates with you, type 1 in the comments section. If not, type 0. Additionally, forward this video to everyone you know who has been told they are simply growing older. With just one taste of real food and one easy step toward strength, let's help more folks rewrite that tale. Keep strong, keep curious, and stay metabolically youthful.